Alright, so we're going to talk about Dragon Age the Veilguard. I just have to talk about it because the levy has broken. And the barbarians aren't at the gate, they're past the gate. They're charging at us. And even if it's in vain, even if it doesn't change anything, I need to say something. I want my words to echo through the cosmos, so the universe knows that I tried. There's no soul to this game. At least from what the trailers show, there is no soul. There's absolutely nothing. It's soulless. I don't even know how to really start this. For the record, this is completely off the cuff. I don't even have a script in front of me. I just wanted to talk about the trailer because I watched both of them. I watched them with a friend of mine who's a super fan of Dragon Age, who's played every game. As much as he was looking forward to another Dragon Age, even he can say, this looks bad. This is not a good sign. It's a bad omen. Keep in mind, I am not a Dragon Age guy. I'll be completely out with that. There's definitely better people that can talk about this subject than me. But as a fan of RPGs, as a fan of fantasy in general, I gotta talk about what I saw. And what I saw was soulless. It scared me. Even the title, like Dragon Age the Veilguard. When you compare this to the original working title, which was Dragon Age Dreadwolf, that is such a better name. Like, what happened to change that from Dreadwolf to the Veilguard? And I have a sort of conspiracy theory about this. I think they thought that Dreadwolf was too evocative and dark compared to the lighter tone they were going with. When you hear the Veilguard, it sounds more heroic, right? It sounds kind of Marvel/Avengers-esque. And I think they wanted to go that direction from watching the trailers, seeing that they're more upbeat. And speaking of which, yeah, the Marvel stuff. We have to talk about this because this isn't just affecting Dragon Age. This is affecting a lot of different media franchises. Do I even have to mention cinematic universes? And just how prolific they are now that Marvel did it. And now we're getting that kind of Marvel tone and that Marvel wittiness in everything. Like the Black Death, it's spreading. I'm especially seeing a lot of new fantasy works with this kind of style. The best explanation I can give for it is it's medieval Marvel. Overly lighthearted. There's no edge to it, and if there is, it's kind of nullified by the fact that the world has all these kinds of monsters living together in harmony, and to me, it always drains the magic of those worlds. Seeing a dragonborn, right? Seeing a tiefling, like a demonic entity, treated with the same mundaneness as a peasant farmer. There's something wrong about that to me. I'm even the kind of guy, like, I don't think you should be able to play as a tiefling. And if you do, that should have ramifications for your character.
Yeah, what'll it be? Lord! Oh, sweet Jesus!
If you are walking around as a demon-looking bloke, people should be, like, turning their heads to look at you. Like, kids should be running away from you. That's the kind of, like, RPG that I want to play. So getting this where there's a heroic-looking monster, it's kind of weird to me. There's someone in the game whose name is Tash. Like, I thought, just watching the trailer through, I honest to God thought it said trash. I thought trash popped up on my screen. But it's just Tash. And this is who they use as their thumbnail. Like, you could have shown, like, a sigil or something really badass looking. Why is this the thumbnail of the video? And why is this sort of stuff becoming the face of fantasy RPGs? But that's just really talking about the reveal trailer stuff. That's not getting into the gameplay. The gameplay is even worse somehow. Like, I think at least with the reveal trailer, as hokey as it is, you could make the argument this is just like bad marketing. With the gameplay, it's like abandon all hope. There's no hope left to buy this game. For starters, they're bringing back the dialogue wheel. I don't know why people accept this. I don't know. It's the worst way to do dialogue. It pales compared to fully showing the dialogue you have. Dragon Age 1 did that system, just like in Fallout and Baldur's Gate, which BioWare has worked on before. And in Dragon Age 2, that's when they brought in the dialogue wheel. Something along the lines of, Mass Effect, where you can only really see an idea of what you're going to say. And for some reason, in Dragon Age 2, that's when they went the dialogue wheel routes. That's when they started making your character voiced. It was supposed to be more cinematic, but it was just more annoying. You didn't know exactly what you were going to say. You only had an abbreviation of your dialogue. I know that they want to go the cinematic route. They want the dialogue to be voiced. And if you see what your line is and click it, and all of a sudden it's just repeated again, people are going to complain. So it gets abbreviated. I get it. What I don't get is why this is a system in an RPG. So in a role-playing game, I want to be fully in control of my character. I want to determine as much as possible, as much as a game can allow, what I can say and do. I want to be in control of that. So not being in full control of seeing what my options are, being left in the dark, it hurts the spirit of role-playing. What's supposed to be fun is now awkward and kind of janky. I was hoping that they would return to the older system. I don't know why they're still going with this completely cinematic style of storytelling when dialogue trees work perfectly fine. Baldur's Gate 3 was a huge success. If anything, I would look to Baldur's Gate 3. I would say, you know what? We did Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. We didn't do 3. Let's look at what 3 did well. And let's learn from that. What were people really in favor of? And one of those things was a voiceless protagonist. People don't like voiced protagonists in RPGs where we're supposed to be playing as our own character. But the lesson wasn't learned. Say what you want about Bethesda, but they learned. They switched back to the old system in 76 and Starfield. BioWare learned nothing. Not even after 10 years. I think they needlessly wasted thousands upon thousands of dollars making a system that a lot of people aren't going to like at all. I think it's a safe bet that most people who are into role-playing want to be able to envision what their character's voice is. I think that's more immersive, and it's immersion breaking to be given a voice. It kind of hurts the role-playing spirit in these games. Then there's the actual gameplay itself. Holy guacamole, dude. This trailer looks like it could have come out in 2014. This looks like it could have been Dragon Age Inquisition. In terms of what they think people want, right? Because it's very action orientated. And I'm not saying Dragon Age isn't, right? But at least get creative. Show us creative, fun ways of slaying our foes. Baldur's Gate 3 was all about how many ways you could approach even the combat in the game. You could approach the combat in a ton of different fun ways. And here, it's just kind of like a beat 'em up. And this was the thing that killed me. The most fun looking kill reminded me of Sonic Boom. Somebody gets knocked off a skyscraper. And look at this animation. It looks like Sonic Boom. It's crazy. There's the fact it looks like a console trailer, that it's very linear and set piece heavy, as if that's something that's going to sell us on the game. If I were making a trailer for an RPG, even if it was more combat orientated, I would want to show the best of the best, right? I would want to make the combat fun. I would want to show if there's going to be big story moments. I would want to show the kind of hard decisions you have to make. I would want that to be the trailer, the hype people up for the game. And instead, this is dare I say, it's like a PS4 level trailer that makes me think this is just an action game. Then there's the aesthetic itself. Earlier we were talking about the game was giving me a lot of Marvel vibes, right? Like bad Marvel vibes, I should say. Not like good Marvel, bad Marvel vibes. I definitely see that with the characters. I see that with their designs. I see that with this one character in particular who has like a druid peg leg. And she looks like an OC. This is what sucks, because you would see this and you'd think that's kind of unique. But in a way, it's generic. It's hard to really explain well. It's like a new generic, where the wackier and weirder the character is, it can reach a point where it gets past the threshold of being unique, and it just reaches like kind of a sterility in its bizarreness. Stuff like Morrowind and the Dark Crystal is alien, but has a unique aesthetic to it that, even though it's weird, like, it's kind of believable and immersive. But this just takes me out. Like, it's too weird to me. Ironically enough, those stories had soul, and this one just doesn't. It doesn't have a strong identity. It's kind of this banal, weird one. And my final point is the demons. These demons suck. These are the worst looking demons I've seen in a while. They're like Fortnite creatures. And I was talking to my friend about this. I was asking him, is this what the Dragon Age demons look like? Do they look like generic elemental monsters? And he said no. And he showed me these pictures of the demons from Inquisition that look way better than this. There's also been some redesigns going on, because the Pride Demon, which is shown in the gameplay trailer, has made an appearance before in Inquisition, where it looked like this. This is what the new Pride Demon looks like. I think it's just objectively worse in every way. Now, my friend does mention that this might be story-related, these redesigns, and the fact that the demons look this way. It might be because that the demon realm, the Fade, the barrier between that world and the world in Dragon Age is breaking down. And so it might be affecting the demons and how they look. There might be like an actual story reason for it. But I look at that sort of the same way I look at something like Cyrodiil being a forest instead of the jungle it was promised to be. Like, there's a story reason for that. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like an excuse. Like, you can make the best excuse possible, but it's just an excuse to make something worse. And I'm not a fan of that. They could have done anything. They could have done Deadite demons, Bosch demons, any number of things. And this is what they went with. Fortnite demons. Disappointing isn't even doing it justice. A big shout out to my friend Justin, who was the Dragon Age fan I've been talking about, who had to watch his franchise die, but had the remaining strength to help me make this video. I hope you get better, man. And I hope something comes of this video. I hope this encourages people who have ideas for fantasy RPGs of their own, or fantasy media. Don't let your doubts consume you. Just go all in. Make whatever the hell you want to make, because this is your competition. This is the stuff that multi-million-dollar studios are making. I'm positive you could make something better. Until next time, stay safe out there.